I will. My name is Verone Kennedy. I am currently serving as the executive director of one of the executive directors of the Office of School Design and Charter Partnerships. And I represent the charter side of the office. My position is shared with another young lady. Her name is Anieli Matos, who is not here on today, but we work together to support charters across New York City. My specific work is around DOE authorized schools, and that's our focus, as well as district charter partnerships, which is a huge initiative across New York City. If you'd like to learn more about that, we can talk about that. But then also data. We're starting to look at data in ways that we have not looked at it in the past, in terms of how charters are impacting the city and where there may be challenges as it relates to charters and how we can do better jobs of collaborating. So all of that is aligned with our chancellor and the work that he is pushing forth around synergistic partnerships and trying to create more partnerships across the city.
Tell us about your new chancellor and his position on charter schools.
So we have not had a tremendous amount of conversations, but the chancellor has put himself, he's made his position very clear as it relates to choice for families, and that families should have the opportunity to have real, rigorous, and what's a good word? Phenomenal educational experiences for children. And so whether that is a district school, his position is that we're not looking at the modifier or the descriptor, but we're talking about schooling for all children. And he's committed to schooling for all children. Charter schools, district schools, and there are conversations around independent schools and all. These are all our kids. The way that he approaches it and the way that we approach it is we say our students, our schools, our success.
Okay, thank you.
Wow. You know, for those of us who are not from New York, and particularly those who are watching us now, they're from all over the country, from Utah to Alabama, Florida. Who is your new chancellor of education here in New York City?
Yes. So our chancellor is Richard Carranza, who has a detailed history of serving students. And if you really want to sort of learn more about him, if I were to sort of describe him in terms of everything that I've read and everything that I've heard, because he is our new schools chancellor, we believe in show and prove, right? But everything that he has done thus far has really pressed the issue around equity and fairness for all.
Is he from New York City? Is he from another?
He's from San Francisco, yes.
Okay, was
absolutely.
he a former superintendent?
Former superintendent in San Francisco, and I believe in Texas somewhere, Houston, Texas as well. Thank you. I have a lot of friends out here to help me, so I'm appreciative.
Is it your view that urban environment is a better soil for charter schools than suburban or rural?
I don't think so. I'm an urban person. So I was born and raised in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Crown Heights, Brooklyn. And so I would say I'm sort of partial to those areas. That's something that I really sort of embrace, urban education. However, prior to my stepping into this position, I worked for an organization called National Heritage Academies as a charter school leader, and then as a charter director of school quality, a superintendent. And I had an opportunity to travel the country. And what I've come to understand in my understanding of charter schools really is about innovation. And it's about trying to do something that has not been done and not continuing to maintain the status quo. There are needs and there are innovations that can occur everywhere.
So how can independent charter schools help you?
Yeah. So one of the things that we love about independent charter schools and why we're so committed to independent charter schools has to do with the network approach, the networking that can exist for independent schools. When I was with National Heritage Academies, that organization had over 80 schools. And so whenever we needed to understand policies, whenever we needed to sort of make a push to try to change policies or even just to improve instruction in our schools, we always had someone that we can tie into and someone we can work with. What we find here, particularly with this organization, I'm really happy that there is this sort of bonding and this network that's created for schools who don't necessarily have all of those other pieces. And this existence creates that opportunity for the independents to come together and collaborate.
and I'm glad you're supportive of it. Thank you very much,
Very much
Ms.
so.
Kennedy, for being here.
Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
Now, do you have a final word? How would you like us to wrap up this show?
Chris, wrap it up in 30 seconds, and then we've got a PowerPoint to show.
Okay, so Chris,
Well, I mean,
can I just say this has been a hoot?
oh, well, thank you very much, John. Thank you very much,
So
John,
now
for
you-
allowing me to be on your platform.
So
But the gentleman from New York City Public Schools, he really touched upon something, I think, which is the service that our organization can have in state organizations that do exactly what we do, like the Florida Association for Independent Public Schools does, is that we have to, there's a positive and negative, and some people might disagree with me. There's a positive and negative about being an independent public school, independent charter school. The positive is that you're independent, and the negative is that you're independent. And so, you know, having an association that can sort of build out some of the other things that you don't want to give up your independence for. You know, you want to be able to have policy discussions with New York City Public Schools. And when you're able to do that under the guise of an association, then they can, you know, bureaucracy can kind of, organization can talk to organization. We need to have better pricing for Hertz furniture. And when you have economies of scale, sometimes in association, sometimes you can build those relationships to get better pricing. When you're a large, when you're a large organization, one of the reasons why they can do some things cheaper is because they're big. And so if you don't have that largeness, you can't get that pricing. And what I found in Florida is that because of things like that, a lot of the independent charter schools are now being bought out by the large
so
companies.
banding together will produce economies of scale.
Yes.
Will allow independent schools to be stronger.
Yes.
And to remain independent even as they're part of a group.
And never lose their independence.
That's right.
At the same time.